I am at NQ64, one of the UK's leading bar arcade. Now this has grown so popular, guys, with everyone. So let's find out exactly why. Let's go and have a look. Harry, finally nice to meet you.
You too.
So Harry, for those that are unfamiliar with what an arcade bar is, what is it?
Obviously the whole concept of us, NQ64, is we are a bar and an arcade mixed together. We appeal to quite a mass crowd here. Like, obviously you've got the nerdy guys that love the games, and you've also got the drinkers on the weekends, so it's a perfect combination of both.
NQ64 is a bar that has gotten quite a lot of attention. It's, you know, one of many bars in the UK since 2019. Did you predict that it would blow up like it did?
I mean, obviously I've been here since day one of opening the original Northern Quarter site, which was tiny. Over the years now, obviously it has grown massively. We've got 11 up and down the UK. No one really predicted it would go as far as it has, but obviously we're very overwhelmed in how positive everyone's been about it.
So I heard obviously that you are a gamer. What's the first memory you've got of gaming?
So the first memory was I think I was about 4 years old. My dad was big into like computers and like making computers, tech, stuff like that. He introduced me to kind of games just through like watching them. Kind of took me into this whole kind of new world essentially. And I was just intrigued by like characters and, you know, world building and story and everything like that.
The gaming scene is changing rapidly. We've gone from like cartridges to CDs to now online games. So how do you think it's going to change in the future?
Well, I think because, like you said, it's evolved so much so quickly, it's just going to go to cloud-based gaming, which you're seeing now with Xbox. It's just going to grow bigger and bigger.
As a professional working within a successful bar, what steps have you taken to make sure that everyone feels included when they get here?
As part of the company, obviously we have like our training and like welcoming packages and everything like that, and it's always been like a core motto for us to be accepting of everyone. Like, don't discriminate against anyone, everyone's here to have fun. That is the entire goal of NQ64. Steps wise, obviously we try and make our sites accessible for everyone. We've had plenty of people come down the doors and always been very welcoming to everyone.
Now the general stereotype of gamers would be like they're quite antisocial people, you know, introverted, don't really go out often, but then you've got places like NQ64 which just completely, you know, throws that stereotype away. Yeah. So obviously, what do you think of arcades like this where you can meet people, socialise?
I think it's great, like combining the, you know, the usual idea of like going out to socialise on a night out drinking, but then combining that with like a love for games which everyone can get involved in is like kind of the perfect blend of the two. We interact with people like through games in like a multitude of ways. It makes, you know, brings out all kinds of emotions.
So right now we're in like the rebirth stage of arcades. Now obviously, how do you feel like arcades is helping socialization and helping people, you know, mix gaming and socializing together?
I think it's a great thing to have these barcades, because after COVID people needed something to go out and do because they were just locked inside for a good part of 2 years and they were playing games online, but it's nice to have that social interaction between people, and it's just a great way of meeting new friends, meeting new people with similar interests.
Gaming's always been quite a social thing, really. I think people look at it as quite like a nerdy activity when it's really not. There's a lot of people that game. With like actual spaces like this, you get a natural community that builds together anyway. Us being part of kind of like the virtual gaming world it's really nice to see.
So what do you think made them so popular?
I think the market's there for like nostalgic old school games, and I don't think anyone really captured it as well as we have. So that's kind of brought kind of like a new crowd like out to this style of bar, and obviously became very successful very quickly.
Now obviously I can imagine that gaming has obviously evolved so much since you started playing. So what would you say was like the best evolution in gaming for you personally?
It was really weird because I transitioned from old PC gaming, like Windows 98, Windows XP 2000, stuff like that. And then I went onto console. And then I've recently, since I started uni, went back into PC gaming. My own personal transition through different generations is kind of what it's been about for me, like just exploring what I like, what I don't like, and the different types of games you can get on different consoles and stuff.
So essentially what you're saying is you did like you went, you know, with the modern times, but then you went back. Sort of what you started at.
Yeah,
Is that just because it feels more like?
It feels natural. You know, it brings you back to your childhood, and I think that's another really important thing about games is like bringing you back to those first moments when you were young. That's why there's a big thing for nostalgia, and that's why like barcades are perfect for that, because it brings the nostalgia not just for our generation, but the older generations and the younger generations going forward in the future.
So in what ways have the barcade shaped you as a person?
Oh, massively. I mean, since being here for like 4 years, seeing it like just blow up massively. I mean, I was always going to arcades anyway when I was a little kid. I was always going to Blackpool and places like this, and when I landed the job here I was so excited about just gaming in general. But they've shaped me in ways of like being around the game, seeing things change, the community that it's built, you know, it's quite heartwarming really.
Now obviously through gaming you are able to have a lot of social chats online. So how do you feel like online speaking and like doing that online game chat, how does it help people in the real life?
Especially again after COVID, people struggled like making like that human connection again because we were used to being locked away. So it's nice to have that built-in friendship what you have with someone and bring it here because you've already bonded over the love of gaming, and you can just easily come here, have fun, and make that group of friends bigger by meeting other people.
So obviously as a gamer, how do you think the gaming scene and like just arcades in general will look 10 years from now?
I think naturally it'll progress where like things that are modern now will be the nostalgia era for them. I mean, not too much, but I honestly couldn't tell you. I think anything's kind of possible with games and the bar mixed together. It could go either way.
So that obviously takes me on to my next question. You mentioned nostalgia. It's been researched that like consumers actually love the arcade games because it brings this nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
So what brings back memories for you as a gamer?
For me personally, I think definitely growing up around consoles and stuff like that, my big memory for me was always getting my PS2. I remember my mum coming in, wrapped up box, and I instantly knew what it was. But yeah, I just remember ripping it open, plugged it straight in, and I skipped school to play it all day. You know, nothing else really mattered at that time. I was just purely games focused. And especially like coming to work here now, like seeing Ratchet and Clank now, I'm like, I remember that. Like it just throws back a memory for you, doesn't it? And it's just, you know, brings you back to being a kid again.
Wow guys, what an amazing experience. Maybe you understand a little bit more about why this place is becoming so popular.